books still matter. Hey, I'm JJ Virgin. I'm a 4-time New York Times bestselling author. I built an 8-figure health brand that started with a single book, and that book changed everything. My visibility, my credibility, my income, and opened up tons of doors. Now, since then, I've helped countless health professionals and founders, including multiple New York Times and bestselling authors, use books to build their business, not just sell copies. I've built and exited companies. I'm a 3-time Inc. 5000 founder. And most of the books I've helped create were self-published. So they weren't dependent on big publishers or big audiences. And here's what I'm guessing about you. I'm betting you have a book inside you, but it's stuck. You're not sure what to write about, or maybe you're just not ready. You wonder if you have enough to say, or if anyone would even care. So you keep thinking, one more certification, one more year, then I'll write the book. Meanwhile, AI is everywhere. Information is everywhere. And without a book, you're invisible, no matter how good your results are. So here's the truth. In today's world, a book is the single fastest authority amplifier you can do. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to use a book to build your health brand, even if you're not a writer, even if you don't really have an audience, and even if you've never thought of yourself as an author. I'm going to break down the exact framework we use inside the Health Business Growth Academy, what actually belongs in your book, how to turn that book into clients, programs, media, and valuable partnerships, and how one clear point of view can power your entire brand. Now, good news is this is way easier than you think. And it's the most leveraged move you can make right now. Basically, books are credibility shortcuts. A book says, I've organized my thinking. I am not just posting quotes on Instagram over here, and I have a framework that works. Books create that category of one, that category ownership. Think of Dan Buettner and Blue Zones, Angela Duckworth with Grit, David Sinclair with Longevity, Huberman with Science-Based Habits. Whatever your thing is, your book plants your flag. You're no longer in the crowded health expert ocean. You are a category of one. You are a trusted authority. And in the world of AI, this is more important than ever. Books open all sorts of big doors like TV, speaking events, podcast interviews, PR, research collaborations, strategic partnerships, and more of your ideal clients. Those better clients who are seeking you out because of your trusted authority. Because reality is people in power read books, not reels. Books also scale your message. In your practice, you help people one-to-one. With a book, you can help thousands. And then with the platform that comes from the book, millions. And books make the invisible visible. Those people out there looking for you who you can't tell who they are, when they buy your book, all of a sudden, they're visible. The big mistake is waiting until you know more. Every practitioner I coach says the same thing. I need another certification, then I'll write the book. I need to just have a little bit more success, then I'll write the book. No, you don't. You need a point of view and you need a process. That is it. You don't need a giant audience. You'll build the audience with the book. You don't need a perfect writing voice. You can also hire an editor to help you write. You don't need a traditional publisher. You don't need a ghostwriter. You don't need a PhD level lit review, and you don't need months off work. I've never taken time off to write my book, and I've never used a ghostwriter. I have a writer editor who supports me and helps me. What you need is a framework, and your framework is what your clients are already using to get results, right? So you already have the framework. You just need to organize it likely. We do that in our income stream blueprint. And then you want those stories, those success stories. Those are amazing to throw throughout the book because your book's got to do one job. It's not covering everything you know. Your book's job is really simple. Turn the strangers, turn the invisible into visible, into believers. Not buyers yet, not super fans, but just believers. Believers who say, you know what, I trust this person. I feel like this person gets me. I think this makes sense. And most importantly, and I want more. You see, books are a commitment. We commit with time and money, books are that time commitment, and they're intimate. People take the book into bed. They took the book into the bathroom, right? It's intimate. And then that book creates connection and trust, two things that are like sorely deficient nowadays. And once someone believes, then they're going to want to get more from you. They'll want to buy the things you have. They'll want the programs, the labs, the retreats, the memberships, the consulting, the products, the courses, right? This is just getting them in the door so they can start to build a relationship with you. So I'm going to share my health expert book formula. And again, this is the exact formula that we teach inside the Health Business Growth Collective in our academy. And the first thing that you need is your core idea. This is your hill you die on. This is your contrarian magnetic point of view. So for me, I like to say, stop trying to lose weight, start trying to put on muscle. Another one in our community, menopause isn't a disease, it's a biological upgrade. Another one in our world, it's not your hormones, it's your habits. Or gut issues aren't normal, they're a sign your metabolism is under attack. These are all examples of hills you would die on, right? What's your one? By the way, I did a video on this, a brand video that walks you through exactly how to figure this out. So I got you. We'll link to it. This can be your talk title. It can be the foundation for your signature talk. It can become your lead magnet. It can be part of your content pillar strategy, a podcast theme. Really, this helps sets the stage and the tone for your entire brand ecosystem, right? It's that hill that you would die on. Then the next thing in that book is your framework. Likely you already have one, you just don't realize it. Think about what you do for your clients, your patients when they come in. Yes, there might be a little bit of difference with them, but 80% of the time you're doing the same thing. Get that framework. It's probably 3 pillars, 4 phases, a roadmap, a protocol, a method. Think of what it is, and then name the different pieces of it. When I wrote the Virgin Diet, there were 3 phases. They were all named. Same with Sugar Impact Diet, 3 phases, all named, right? You might create, like right now, I've got my Metabolism Fix book. It's got its 3 pillars. Maybe you've got the GLP-1 rebuild roadmap. Maybe you've got the 5-hour gut reset method. Whatever it is, look at what you're doing now that's working with your patients. That is your method. Then we're going to name it, right? And trademark it. So it's yours. And all you do with the book is deep dive into this framework. And then you have your stories in the book. And you have a couple different kinds of stories, 3 different ones. The first one is your origin story. And by the way, this is why matters to you, why this is a hill you die on. And bonus points if you add in some vulnerability there, because they'll really trust you. Then you've got your client stories that show that what you do works, and you want to have diversity of client stories. So your ideal client goes, oh my gosh, that person's just like me. If they could do it, I could do it, right? And then those contrarian stories that show that what you're doing is right, that the industry is wrong. I like to say in the industry that stories sell. Stories make people move, and all the science and the data, that's going to make them feel safe. You want to have both in your book, right? Your book is going to be your best training, your best coaching, all distilled into one place. Now, your book really becomes your brand flywheel. When we teach this in Health Business Growth Academy, people are like, are you kidding me? Because a book can become your whole platform, your whole business. First of all, you can pull things out from the book to create content, right? Every chapter has got all these different things in it for content. The book itself, all throughout the book, you will have QR codes of things that they can get so that they come back onto your list. So if they buy it on Amazon, they'll still come back to your list. But also, you can buy my book and get these cool things so that if you're out speaking somewhere and people buy your book, they have a QR code, they get free gifts. So again, either which way, they're opting in, right? You will get podcast interviews, because I know as a podcaster, I look for people whose books are coming out to do a podcast with. And remember, your book showcases your program, that then from that you might do retreats, you might do workshops, maybe you'll create a membership on it, maybe you'll create a certification for other healthcare practitioners to use your book and take people through the process. I have my Virgin Diet, and then I have my Breakthrough Food Intolerance online program. I have Metabolism Fix coming out next year, and then I will have my 90-day Metabolism Mastery program. And book gets you media. I got to tell you, PR is so much easier with a book, especially when you create those quotables throughout the book. In my next book, what we've really worked on is creating as many quotables that are pullouts so that it's easy for people to see them and start to use them and repeat them. But that book is great for getting on media, great for getting on podcasts, great for getting on stages. And it's really what I base my keynote talks on, my book, right? It also is great for partnerships and sponsors. As I was building this book, I was thinking about who do I want to talk about in this book? What other products fit well with my book so that we can collaborate together, right? So maybe I'll do a book signing at someone's booth because I've talked about their product in the book and they go together. The bottom line is a book is literally one of the most powerful tools you can use to build a strong, compelling personal brand and position yourself as that category of one. Now, if you're wondering, how do you stand out in a crowded, saturated market? Or how do I build trust in an AI expanding world? This is it. Start here. If you'd like to learn more about how to build a strong personal brand, which can then help you nail what to write your book about, and I also really get that contrarian belief, I created a video with the top strategies we use, and we will link to that as well.